Hey, greetings from San Francisco's financial district on a Friday night. People out and about, Christmas shopping, there are parties everywhere. Stuff's going on. Oh, in fact, while stuff's going on, real quick, I'm just going to tweet this out. It's going to take a second. Share. And Twitter. And I'm back. Okay, and I'm back. All right. Hey, everybody. This is crossing the street. And I'm headed. This is the scene in front of me, all right? I made this vlog this live vlog because there are some who are still upset that I announced my endorsement for my god sister for mayor. And one person, Dan Rush, who at one point was on the Democratic Central Committee for Alameda County, said on Facebook, well, and the reason why I do it this way is because I'm kind of sick and tired of people giving money to Mark Zuckerberg in this really stupid fashion. I have nothing against Mark, but it's just ridiculous. Every time somebody puts something out there on Facebook, on text, that's money in his pocket. Anyway, he says, well, as a journalist, you should be da-da-da. He's basically saying that because in his view, I'm a journalist and I'm supposed to be objective, that I can't endorse anybody. That's ridiculous. Okay? And it advances this silly myth that media is truly objective, which is ridiculous. I am biased, okay? I've always stated my biases. That's what bloggers do. There is a blogger's code of ethics that's separate from what journalists do, by far. And a blogger states their biases up front. And in this instance, my bias is for Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf to be reelected. Now, if you want Libby to do better, there are two things you can do. Either help her, or run for mayor, or get someone else to run. Because right now, she's running unopposed, okay? That's how all this started. Libby is running unopposed. There are people who are talking who have done nothing. Ignacio says he's going to run for mayor. He hasn't even filed to run at all. Same with Ken Houston. By contrast, when I said I was going to run, I put out a caveat. I didn't say absolutely I was going to run. I thought about it. I said, I'm thinking about it. I'm leaning toward it, but I'm not sure. I said, but when I do, I'll file. Because I know how this is done. You go out, you get about, you get 100 signatures plus. You make sure you get 200 signatures because some of those signatures are not going to be valid. That's just a fact, all right? And then you submit them, and hey, boom, you have your filing. Then you have to go out and raise money, and you have to come up with, guess what, an idea of how you're going to improve the city, okay? And that's what you do. But in terms of me, all right, everybody has a bias. You have even, many organizations that state their endorsements for political candidates. Media has always supported politicians one way or another. So for Dan to come off with that, I read that, I thought, has he lost his freaking mind? I mean, he's old enough not to. So I thought, let me respond back in this way. Because when you put something on Facebook in text, I know it's easy and everything, but I'm sorry, I'm in media. I want to make money myself. All right, so does Mark Zuckerberg. If you have a problem with that, too bad. That's it. Now back to my point, and it's this. You should always ask what the bias is of the producer of media that you're reading. Where are you coming from? Okay? I mean, for example, there was a article written, I happened to run across recently, I didn't see it when it was first put out there, about Scott McKibben, who is the executive director of the Oakland Alameda County Joint Powers Authority. And the person that wrote it was Robert Gammon. It was very critical of him. But see, Robert never put in the article that he worked for Scott McKibben when Scott ran A&G newspapers back in, I believe it was 2005, 2006. And they were going through this problem where they weren't getting paid enough money as media, as journalists, okay? And Robert was very critical of his actions then, how he ran the newspaper. But see, Robert didn't put that in the article where he was critical of Scott getting under $300,000 contract. So I'm reading this and I'm thinking, this guy is biased. He's not even mentioning his bias. He's going to say he's an objective journalist. Okay, right? I mean, you should always explain your biases, period. Always. I'm using that as just one example. There's, of course, the examples around the Iraq War and how a number of media people supported it, covered it up. Jessica Yellen, who's now my Facebook friend, talked about how the media was complicit in support of the Iraq War and did as much as they could possibly do to avoid talking about the Downing Street memos. What were the Downing Street memos? The memos that essentially said that, hey, look, we know that Iraq had nothing to do with the 9/11 bombing, and it was more than likely in Afghanistan, but we're going to do this anyway. I'm simplifying a very complicated story, okay? But there are a number of people in the media who are complicit in this, and it's known. It's completely known. So this idea of that the media is objective, just knock it off. Everybody has a bias. Everyone has a right to a bias. That's life. Just ask what the bias is and move on. Speaking of which, this is tonight. This is what's happening. I am now down in what you could call, I guess, part of San Francisco's Arts District, right? And this is I'm coming near it's called MoMA, or SF MoMA, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. And also the new, it's finished now. The Moscone Center expansion is now open. And this is St. Regis right here. Right there. All right. Where I'm going to duck into in a bit. But point that I'm making is that I'm going to walk over real quick and check on the Moscone Center expansion while I have a little time before I walk in there, all right? So, hey, how are you? Sorry, this guy's trying to come in and cross. This is something else. This is the new Moscone Center expansion. Oh, and by the way, for you Comic-Con fans, San Francisco Comic-Con in June 6th of 2018 is going to be Oakland Comic-Con. Sorry, you guys put some comments up there I didn't quite read because they went by really quickly. You want me to read them, you buy a super chat, they'll stick there. I'll send you and I'm behind schedule on this, but I will send you your shares. This is the new Moscone Center expansion. Take a look, folks. Something else. Wow. Woo-hoo. That's the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts right there, okay? And that, what you're looking at, this is Moscone Center East. Actually, technically Moscone Center South, but it's a new expansion for Moscone Center. Take a look at this right here. Wow. If you're wondering what's behind me, this is the W Hotel in San Francisco, but this is the new Moscone Center right here. See that? Now this is the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts right here. There you go. See that? All right. Hey Barry Lee, how's it going? Hope is it still snowing in Seguin, Texas? Anyway, hey, look, I've got to go on to my appointment, but I wanted to chime in and I wanted to get that out there because, well, Dan Rush, it is quite warm. It's about 52 degrees, I think, something like that. It's quite warm. By the way, this is the W Club right here. All right, this is Howard Street in San Francisco. All right. And this is 3rd Street right in front of me here. This is 3rd Street, right there. That and that, all right? And like I said, this is the W Club, right? Excuse me, the W Club, the W Hotel. See this? The W San Francisco. There you go. All right, happy holidays, everybody. Remember, I'm a blogger, not a journalist. I'll see ya. Or a video blogger. Vlogger. I'm a vlogger, not a journalist. Hey, CSU Ram, sorry, I gotta go. But I'll see you on the ground next. I gotta go in here. I'll see you. See you guys. All right.